just recently changed all of our product labels, and we paid someone who's a professional to do it. And the increased response from customers and the increased perceived value in the product is just phenomenal. So don't take on what you don't know how to do.
Entrepreneurs, we're going up to Canada to sit down with two incredible entrepreneurs, Matthew and Shawn. They're behind the Greenbriar Market and Refillery. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining that entrepreneur show.
Thanks for having us.
It's going to be a good one, everyone. I can't wait to dive in with a bit of a preview. It was born out of a desire to make a meaningful impact on the world. And during the pandemic, Matt and Shawn found themselves with time to reflect on their values and how they could align them with their work. Shawn's a retail veteran with family history in entrepreneurship, and he was really inspired to combine his love for customer interaction and operations with a deeper purpose. Together, they decided to address this challenge they faced personally, the difficulty of finding truly sustainable, eco-friendly products without resorting to endless online searches. Was there an aha moment that led to this?
I think it was during the pandemic when we were just stuck at home. We were trying to find stuff that we wanted for ourselves. And every time wanted something from a small company, you had to place a $250, $300 order just to get free shipping and make it worth your time.
Sure.
Uh, so I think part of it came from this wanting to curate a collection of things that we liked and that we wanted, and put it in one spot.
I absolutely love seeing the need for something, going out there and making it happen. What were some of the harder parts for the two of you getting this show on the road? I know it's not easy to sustain a business. You've both done a beautiful job at that. Let's talk about the hard parts to help out our audience.
I think for us, one of the hardest parts was vetting our brands and our suppliers. There's a lot of greenwashing out there, and there's a lot of companies that kind of make surface claims that are like they're not incorrect, but when you start digging into where they're sourcing from, the materials they're using, some of the eco-sustainable kind of starts to fall apart. So that was one big eye-opening moment for us, was just because something's called green doesn't make it at all environmentally friendly. And we'd known that going into it, but just like some of the small brands that we all kind of look at as being like the eco-friendly alternative, and then you trace it back and they're owned by like a Fortune 100 company and that kind of stuff. So there was a lot of that as a learning curve for us on the supply side.
It's a very interesting point you brought up. Is there one, or I'm sure there's many, but is there one ingredient that people think may be green, like you're saying, and it's the opposite?
It's usually the other way around, actually, where people will come in and they'll have Googled this list of like all these chemicals. And they're like, this stuff, I read a study somewhere that like two people published, and this is like toxic and terrible. And you're like, it's coconut oil. Like it's just the like the INCI formulation name for like coconut. Like it's you couldn't really get more natural, but people read one little snippet on a blog, or they see something they Google, and they get it in their head that it's this horrible ingredient.
Thank you for sharing all this expertise. And everyone, we are in that entrepreneur show. As I mentioned, two great guests coming on to share their story. This is the number one podcast for small business owners and entrepreneurs. I have to thank everyone listening so much for continuing to tune in each week and helping make this a top 2.5% global podcast. I have so much fun connecting with entrepreneurs each and every week. And on this show, we start at the beginning. We got to dig deep. And then we go into the middle of the journey and then what's next. So whoever wants to take it first, did you always want to start your own business at some point in your life, or was this truly a pandemic baby?
No, I've always wanted to start my own business and have my own store. I grew up alongside a tire shop that started out of our house that my parents owned, and moved into a larger shop down the road. I've basically been an entrepreneur baby since I was a kid. My dad had multiple businesses before that, and he grew it to the point where he could sell it to a larger corporation and retire. So that was truly inspiring. But yeah, and it's always nice to do things with Matt. He and I are always together. We've been together 18 years now.
Oh,
Uh,
congratulations.
thank you. So just being able to put our expertise and ideas together into one project and work on it together has been super exciting.
That's amazing. How about you? Did you ever have these entrepreneur bones inside you?
I've kind of grown up in the world of outside sales. So I'm outside sales, remote work kind of out there. So it's a lot like having your own business, even though you don't.
Yeah.
Um, and then it's really nice to be able to create a company where we support so many other local businesses. Like we've kind of grown a community of vendors, but also now friends that we can help, everyone prosper.
Oh, well, that's what it's all about. Entrepreneurship is a unique sector where we always want to try to help each other out, connect each other with individuals. Where when I was at corporate and corporate finance, you want to be better than the guy next to you, right? You're not really trying to give all that wiggle room. Thank you for sharing that. I mean, I'm typing up here in the notes as we go. I love supporting local businesses. How the pandemic lets you tap into your entrepreneurial bones and you were just in corporate. And I think that's so inspiring because a lot of people did, but then they went back in. It seems that you both found your groove. What's been the most exciting part of the growth you've been experiencing?
I think one of the ways that Greenbriar is actually developed is it started kind of as the sustainable product, but it's grown into this local hub for artists. So we have a lot more local artists that we represent in the store.
Amazing.
And we started with probably around 5 to 10 local vendors here, and now we're over 30 vendors that are local to Calgary and Alberta. And then the other 30 are from across Canada. And then we have one American vendor that we let in. They have a superior product, so they get to stay.
Are they up in Buffalo?
No, they're actually out of Texas.
Wow. How did you cultivate that relationship?
They have a really great few great products, and it was just something that we had tried previously. And it's a small mother-daughter team that own this company as well, so they fit alongside that sustainability mindset and small business mindset as well.
That's absolutely incredible. Something else I want to dig into both of your brains because you are the experts here. Let's talk about the cost savings that comes with refilling, not just the amazing sustainability of it all.
So I guess the cost savings on doing the refill are usually anywhere between like 20 and 40%, like from a financial standpoint, but also the cost savings in not having to landfill all of those containers and landfill all those bottles. So you're individually saving a bit of money, but you're also saving money municipally and like other businesses. You're not having to produce as much. So it's really is a trickle down effect for that cost savings. Like the consumer gets an immediate cost savings because they're paying less money, but the like social cost of not having to manufacture all of those single one-time use disposable goods is huge. We just did our year-end wrap, and the like thousands and thousands of bottles worth of refills that we've done this year. It's kind of crazy when you put it all down in front of you and you look at like how many kilograms or pounds of plastic aren't sitting there, never biodegrading. And then being able to offer cost savings to people incentivizes them kind of to do something good, but
Sure.
they get rewarded for it.
I like how, of course, you're recognizing the different points of access for people. Some people, it's going to be always the money, right? They need to see some kind of cost savings. Other people are going to be more sustainable for the environment. Is there any like staggering statistics you have for us about the amount of waste we do or the refills, how you save that?
I think like we're a small kind of local shop. We aren't the hugest guys out there yet. But even just for us in the past year, it's been well over 1,500 just
Ooh,
bottles of shampoo. So like, and that's just one product. So like
wow.
we've done several thousand liters. So that's probably about 2,500 gallons of like body wash refill. So you figure if body wash usually comes in like an 8 ounce bottle, that's a
Yeah.
ton of bottles.
Well, thank you both for all the effort you're putting in, and the hard work is evident, of course, but you're making a big difference, a big change. Now let's talk about online to the physical location. We know you burnt during COVID, you had the idea, but it's not as simple as, oh, I see this place for rent, let's go get it, whatever. A lot of ups and downs, I'm sure. Let's talk about some of them.
I think that was the worst process of all of thing from online to brick and mortar. Commercial real estate is awful. Uh, of course, rents are ridiculously high, and that eats into a large chunk of our sales and our profits. But just negotiating as a small business to try and get a proper space, what it took us 6 months, and even that, it almost fell apart right at the end as we were taking possession. So that is definitely the worst part is commercial real estate and paying that rent every month.
Any tips for folks who are about to take that jump and get some commercial space, some things you wish you knew maybe when you started?
I would say if there's an opportunity to purchase a less than perfect place, you're better off to buy your location because at least you're building equity in your location. Versus if you've got that perfect storefront, but you're going to be paying, $90 a square foot for the first 6 months, you're not making $90 a square foot.
Oh
So
yeah.
you really do start out kind of behind the eight ball on that. And then I guess the other thing I would recommend is saving $5 per square foot is not worth losing 200,000 foot traffic people on your space. Like I know the cheesy cliche is location, 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 but it really, really does matter. We opened a second location this year inside a market that has dedicated foot traffic. It's busy, it's well known, it's been established for 35 years. And just the drastic difference in off the street sales in that new location versus our original location, which is beautiful and it's in a great community. But yeah, I would say don't save a dollar to lose 100.
And you took this next question out of my mouth. Let's talk about the location process because you just said the name of the game, getting people in the store, right? If no one's there, not making any money. For those who are tuning in from Canada, we do have listeners from Canada. Walk us through why you chose that particular area.
Uh, so we originally our namesake is actually from the street that we used to live on, and it was a whole new development with a new farmers market that was going in, and unfortunately the lease rates were just ridiculous there, and I mean ridiculous. There was no way we could have done that. So we started looking at smaller spaces. We started looking in different neighborhoods and different locations. This one just happened to be not far from where we used to live. And it was a live workspace, so it was finished already. So it seemed ideal. We didn't have to put all kinds of money into putting floors and walls and everything
Sure.
in.
Yeah.
Uh, it's an old community that just had a facelift, so they have a program where they've just redone all the sidewalks and the bike paths and everything. So it seemed like it was going to be an ideal place where there'd be a lot of foot traffic. Unfortunately, there's not, but the community has come around us. It is a really nice community that we're in, and the people that have found us definitely keep coming back, which is nice.
Well, that's important. The power of community cannot be underestimated. It's the word of mouth is the best form of advertising. It's just the hardest one to get. Oh man, you guys have been kicking butt today. What a great show so far. How do you make running this business work with your lives, though? I'd like to hear from both of you.
What lives? No.
Yes, everyone, that is entrepreneurship. If you're a brand new aspiring entrepreneur, your life will be missing for quite a bit.
We've actually, so we're a family business. Matt's mom and sister both work for us as well. Uh,
Oh,
so we have
amazing.
Yeah, we have people we can rely on, so that does help a lot. From basically fall until spring, we're working 7 days a week. But in the summertime, which is a little bit slower, we're able to kind of step away and go camping on the weekends and take some time for ourselves and know that our store is in good hands with both Kate and Debbie, which is really nice. So our time we get is in the summer, but winter we are working real hard.
And you?
I think it's just a matter of setting the expectations for your day. Because we're retail, we're not open super early, we're not open super late. So there is that kind of space where you can get up in the morning, do your paperwork, do your stuff, and then you're in the store, you're with the customers. Um, and it's just a matter of, I guess, realizing that you're there because you want to be there. Like, don't approach it as much of a burden as like looking at the successes that you're building. And for us, we're really fortunate that we have so many local vendors and local artisans. So the appreciation and the support that you get from the community helps kind of get you through those days where you're like, yeah, close the doors, let's go home. There's no one here. You know what I mean? So
Those small wins carry the momentum. I can definitely relate to that when it's just like, no, 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 bad, bad, bad. Yet one little, you're like, okay, cool. Now let's keep it going. I'd like to pitch it now to a question I like to ask all my guests near the end of their shows. If you could choose any entrepreneur throughout history, dead or alive, to talk to and pick their brain, who's on your list?
Never given that a thought. You?
one of the people that I would like to talk to in a very adversarial way would actually be Kevin O'Leary.
All right, let's talk about it.
I think he's built a lot and accomplished a lot, and I enjoy the frank approach to you can't be a successful business if the business doesn't make money. But I also think, given the nature of what we're all about and what we do, it would be interesting to challenge some of his very Grinch, Scrooge McDuck, we'll say, kind of philosophies with a how do you take that and build something that's successful and profitable, but also impact the greater good. So
Amazingly
that
said.
would be someone I'd like to pick a friendly adversarial conversation with, I think.
Let's delve a bit deeper. I'm going to challenge you now. Where would you want this meeting to go down if you had the choice to?
Um, I actually think it would be really fun to go on to like Dragon's Den and like pitch the value of our company to someone
Ooh.
who doesn't see social credit as a value.
Hey, well, let's make sure we tag away when this episode goes live, when you reshare it. How about you? Now that you had a chance to put some thoughts together, who'd you like to speak to?
We do have really great like Canadian entrepreneurs here. And kind of from that Dragon's Den, Arlene Dickinson
All right.
is a great person who does see the value of those social enterprises and kind of gets behind them and finds a way to make them work. So I think you need almost a little bit of what she does with a little bit of what Kevin does to make some magic happen. So I think that would be interesting as well.
I love it. Now I'm going to ask you the same thing. Where would you choose to meet?
Where I'd love her to just be in our store and just see what we're all about and
You just
Yes.
get that feedback just like
yeah,
this, boom, boom,
yeah.
boom.
And
Oh,
she's local, so it's potential. She could walk in any
Yeah.
day.
well,
Sure.
that's
Sister offices are here in Calgary, so
well, you never know which DM, which tag anyone's going to open. So let's make sure we tag away because they would definitely see all the value you bring because I see it here. I'm a little further away down here in Florida, so I can't necessarily stop by, but I'm glad that we got to connect for the show. But before we sign off, before we get your contact info, what's one piece of advice each of you can offer to an early stage entrepreneur? I know we spoke about some great advice in the commercial real estate space. Thank you for that. But now let's inspire some of our young guys and girls not to give up.
For me, I think really looking at your margins, especially as a retailer, really have to take a look at the products you're bringing in and if they are going to make you money or if they're just dead weight that's bringing you down. There's a couple of new refilleries that have opened here in Calgary that we've spoken with the new owners and been like, hey, learn from our mistakes. We want to see you succeed and do it faster than we did. And margins is a big one because in the space that we're in, a lot of the wholesalers offer very low margins. So it is really about trying to pick those products that are winners and are still going to make you money and allow you to open your doors and be there.
I absolutely love everything you said. I can even relate to the difficult decision of not just taking a paycheck and chasing money if it's not a culture fit, if it's not going to align with the company mission and the goals. First time I didn't renew a client. So it was like this big whirlwind in my head and all of these things. So congrats on finding that within yourself like I did. It seems like it was a huge weight off my shoulder, a turning point in a way. So thanks for sharing that. I'm going to ask you to.
I think just being okay not knowing the answer. I think a lot of people when they're starting out, they take on all the responsibility of getting the company running. They try to wear all the hats, do all the things, and doing something poorly because you don't think you can afford to pay someone to do it properly costs you way more money. If marketing is not your thing, hire someone to do your marketing. If branding is not your thing, hire someone to do your branding. We did a rebrand about halfway through our second year. We just recently changed all of our product labels, and we paid someone who's a professional to do it. And the increased response from customers and the increased perceived value in the product is just phenomenal. So don't take on what you don't know how to do.
Incredible advice there. Leveraging your weaknesses with someone else's strengths. We have to try in the beginning, can't be great at everything, but thank you for taking the pressure off of that. Where I hope everyone's listening on today, realizing that no one is an amazing entrepreneur the first day, first year, whatever. As you grow, I don't think anybody will ever be perfect, but as long as you keep trying, you will never be disappointed. I have to thank the both of you so much for taking time out of your day to join our community of entrepreneurs here on That Entrepreneur Show. Where can we say hello to you both online? Where can we find the website? Everything else you got?
So our website is greenbriarmarket.ca. Greenbriar is spelled with an A and not an E at the end there. And then our Instagram handle, it's super easy, Greenbriar Market. And we have our own cosmetic line that we launched, Aspera Cosmetics as well. So you
Well,
can
we got to
follow.
pause a second. We didn't show any love to this. All right, we got a few minutes here left. One of you, please let us know what's the good word with this company.
So Aspera Cosmetics is our own in-house brand that we've worked with a lab here in Calgary. So the goal was to formulate proper, like Health Canada formulated skincare that was local and accessible. Shawn's background is luxury retail, so our push is really to make um, eco-friendly and sustainable can still be luxury. So we worked for about 6 months back and forth at the lab on formulations. It's three women who run this lab, and they're just phenomenal. They've got a depth of knowledge that we didn't have, so we learned a lot of things. And then it's a fully refillable skincare line. So along the line of the Refillery, you buy the container once, you come back, you get it refilled. We've actually started wholesaling it to a few other refilleries
Excellent.
as well. So yeah, so we're just launched our second round of products before Christmas. So it's been a good journey.
Well, congratulations. You'll have to reach out to me this time next year, get you back in the show, talk about the growth. And being humble is a great thing, but you're here for me to get you some love with your products and all of that stuff. Is there a website for that too?
You can go to asperacosmetics.ca, but it does just feed right onto the Greenbriar Market website.
I won't. I'll just leave the Greenbriar Market on the website for the contact info. But thank you both so much for an amazing show, sharing how to get in touch with you. And That Entrepreneur Show is on all podcast platforms, all social media platforms. Please leave us a review, rate us, leave a comment for our guests, let them know how much you love them. My name is Vincent A. Lancy. I'm on all social media at that handle, YouTube, and my website is vincentalancy.com. Before signing off, this show is brought to you by Coming Alive Podcast Production. Get your journey started at comingalivepodcastproduction.com. And with that, again, we're signing off from Canada all the way down to Florida. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for having us.